Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out here for you, so I want to bring you an update regarding the ongoing fighting near the Kharkiv region right now. So I reported a few days ago that Russia had launched a massive attack towards the city of Kharkiv. We know that they want to take Kharkiv from Ukraine and multiple other regions. I think it's the Sumy region and the Chernihiv region. So I want to give you some updates and let you know what's going on over here. So we've got more reports now that Russia stated that they have captured 9 villages in total over the weekend. So this is in the Kharkiv region, pretty close to Kharkiv, and also the town of Vovchansk, kind of like a bigger size village, has come under heavy shelling and attack here in the last few days. And we know that many of the people, the residents that were there, have been evacuated. And we've got some video footage talking about that a little bit too. We'll go over some details on an article and also some videos and some extra information on X. So yeah, this fighting here is still ongoing. Multiple towns and villages with lots of extreme fighting between Ukrainians and Russians. And from what we're seeing, I'm getting some information that, yeah, the Russians appear to have broken through, at least to an extent, and may have gotten really close to surrounding the village of Vovchansk, which we've been talking a lot about that lately. It's come under heavy shelling from the Russians and been pretty destroyed from lots of aerial attacks. So let's go ahead and get right into this and talk about this some more. But by the way, that's Oleksandr Syrskiy, the commander of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, if you're wondering who that is. He's coming out and warning also that the situation in the north by Kharkiv has significantly worsened, is what he said. So we're going to talk more about that. So let's go over this here on CNN World. Ukraine warns Northern Front has significantly worsened as Russia claims capture of several villages. So we've heard Oleksandr Syrskiy, the commander of Ukraine's armed forces, come out and say this before about the fighting going on the eastern side of the country. So like near Donetsk, Luhansk, all those regions over there. But now we're hearing that the situation has significantly worsened near the Kharkiv region. So let's go over this. Ukraine warned the situation in the northern Kharkiv region has significantly worsened after Russia claimed to have captured several villages in a surprise cross-border offensive. Russia on Sunday said it had captured 9 villages in total over the weekend, as Ukraine said fighting was ongoing and that it was repelling attacks. Hundreds of civilians have been evacuated from near the front lines. Russia began its surprise cross-border attack on Friday, making 2 assaults inside northern Ukraine in what President Volodymyr Zelensky called a new wave of counteroffensive actions by Russia. The precise goal is unclear, but Moscow may be trying to create a buffer zone to reduce Ukrainian attacks on Russian territory or try to wear down and divert the attention of Kiev's already thinly stretched forces. In a statement, Russia's Ministry of Defense claimed a new military grouping called Sever North had liberated several villages, wording that reflects Russia's denial of Ukrainian statehood. Oleksandr Syrskiy, Ukraine's army chief, said Sunday that defensive operations were ongoing. This week, the situation in Kharkiv Oblast has significantly worsened, is what he said. Currently, there are ongoing battles in the border areas along the state border with the Russian Federation, he wrote on Telegram. So what I'm kind of hearing overall is it's kind of back and forth. We're hearing that the Ukrainians are having to fall back in some areas. The fighting is very tense, and the situation is, like Oleksandr Syrskiy said, that it's significantly worsened. But then we've also been hearing about some amazing breakthroughs from the Ukrainians too. That for the most part, Ukraine is doing a pretty good job of holding Russia back. We did report on this yesterday. There was a gentleman that was inside of Kharkiv. I forget his name. But he was stating that everything in Kharkiv was fine. The people there were not panicking or freaking out. That the Ukrainian army is, for the most part, holding the Russians back. Ukraine's Oleksandr, head of the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, disputed that 5 villages in the Kharkiv region had been captured. So apparently he's saying that this was not the case of Russia taking some villages near Kharkiv. Heavy fighting continues in Strelecha, Pilina, Borisivka, in the area of Olenikov and Ohertsev. I'm probably butchering all these names right here, but I don't really know how to pronounce them. I'm sorry about that. The fighting continues in the area of these settlements that were actually in the gray zone. There is no threat of a ground operation for Kharkiv. The defense forces are doing everything possible to hold their positions. All government agencies are working on the ground, Sinuhubov said. The gray zone represents territory currently contested rather than under full Russian or Ukrainian control. So I was hearing too that some gray zones were turning into like battle zones or something, or war zone, I think is what it was. That these were no longer just gray zones where they weren't really under Russian or Ukrainian control, but now they've been full-blown war zones as the fighting has really intensified in this region. So yeah, that's the latest there with the Kharkiv region. So we're going to go over a few more things that I want to show you. I've got some additional information that we're going to check out here on X. So let me get this up here for you. And let's take a look. So this is from Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. So we're going to watch a video from him. It's about 3 minutes long. And it says here, defensive operations and fierce battles are taking place in the Kharkiv region along a significant border strip. Some villages have effectively turned from a gray zone to a war zone. So you see what he says here, war zone. Occupiers are attempting to seize control of some of them while using others to advance. I'm grateful to all of our warriors who are holding their positions and destroying the occupiers, artillery and drones. I appreciate everyone who's involved and shows precision. Our goal is clear: inflict as many losses as possible on the occupiers. The situation is also very difficult near Vovchansk. The city is under constant Russian fire. Our military continues to counter Russian attacks. Locals continue to receive assistance. Everyone in the Kharkiv region must demonstrate maximum effectiveness, but those in the military, defense forces, local governments, and communities are resilience, and Ukrainian results in combat are key. So 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he has to say, and let's check it out.
Дорогі українці, українки, сьогодні головне – це, звичайно, питання фронту і нашої протидії російським операціям. Протягом дня вже були доповіді головкома, розвідки, міністра внутрішніх справ. Особлива увага Харківщині. Тривають оборонні бої, жорстокі бої на значній частині нашої прикордонної смуги. Є села, які фактично із сірої зони стали зоною ведення бойових дій, і окупант намагається в частині з них закріпитись, частину просто використати для подальшого просування. Я хочу подякувати нашим воїнам, які втримують позиції та знищують окупанта. Артилерія, дрони, всі, хто задійний і задійний влучно, я вам дякую. Завдання наше очевидне – треба завдати окупанту якнайбільших втрат. Зокрема, на околицях міста Вовчанськ ситуація надзвичайно складна, місто під постійним російським вогнем, і тривають контрударні дії наших військових в місті, місцевим мешканцям допомагають. І дуже важливо, щоб максимум ефективності був проявлений зараз кожним, хто безпосередньо саме там, на Харківщині, у військових силах, у силах безпеки, у місцевій владі, в громадах. Все залежить від того завжди у війні, на що ти сам здатен, що ти сам здатен зробити, чи можеш витримати удари і втримати позиції, щоб і всі так само змогли. Головне – наша стійкість та український результат в боях. Незмінна увага також іншим напрямкам бойових дій. Не менш загострені зараз Донецькі напрямки. Власне, задум ударів на Харківщині в тому, щоб розтягнути наші сили та підважити моральну, мотиваційну основу здатності українців захищатись. Покровський напрямок, попри все, найбільш жорсткий. Тільки за цю добу саме на Покровському напрямку було вже 30 бойових зіткнень. Також жорсткі Лиманський, Времівські напрямки, Краматорський, Куп'янський. Наші воїни достойно відповідають окупанту і роблять все можливе, часто й неможливе, щоб стримувати російські штурми. І відповідати окупанту вогнем. Ще одне. Російські інформаційні операції – це завжди енергія для російських наземних операцій. Окупант живиться брехнею і страхом, який за брехнею слідує. Оборонні бої ніколи не бувають простими, завжди складнішають, коли ворогу вдається використати страх. Тому зараз безпечніше не вестися на емоції. Не гнатися за гучністю заголовка, перевіряти кожне інформаційне повідомлення і шукати саме інформацію, а не емоції або чутки, та обов'язково довіряти Силам оборони України. Наші воїни знають, як діяти. Ми працюємо для того, зокрема, з партнерами, зокрема, і з нашим внутрішнім українським виробництвом зброї, щоб у наших воїнів було чим діяти. Кожному, хто допомагає, я дякую. Усім, хто б'ється заради України і б'ється стійко, дякую. Дякую усім, хто дає результат Україні. Слава Україні!
Okay, so we can see there that he's thanking all the warriors that are fighting for Ukraine, and also talking a little bit about how difficult the front line is. Okay, so we've been seeing this for a while now, that Ukraine has been struggling to fight this war, but we know they've gotten lots of supplies recently as well. So I don't know, maybe it'll just take a little bit of time for them to restabilize, but they're definitely struggling to hold the line, but for the most part, they're holding. Okay, so I reported yesterday that the front line was doing relatively decent. Today it's starting to hear that maybe it's not doing as good, at least in the Kharkiv region, but for the most part, they are repelling majority of these attacks from what we're seeing. But we'll talk a little bit more about this war and how it's going for Ukraine. And in the Kharkiv region especially, it's not going as good as maybe some of the other areas. So we'll talk about this as well. A couple other things to go over here. This is from the current report. It says, breaking. 125 Ukrainian border guards just surrendered on the Kharkiv border, refusing to fire a single shot at the advancing Russian army. It says via Alsi Kosak. So here's a picture here. And yeah, according to current report, they're stating that there was some sort of incident where 125 Ukrainian border guards just basically surrendered. Maybe they were outnumbered, or who knows what happened, but apparently they surrendered according to this information. I haven't been able to completely identify this or verify this yet, but that could be a thing here. And you know, we have been seeing this. The Russian army appears to be advancing based on some reports that we're seeing, but it's just unknown at this time how much land they're taking, what cities they're controlling. We're hearing some towns are being taken, and then there's the governor of the Kharkiv region saying that no, they're not taking anything. So not really too sure yet exactly what's going on, but just wanted to share that information. Also from Divana, situation in Vovchansk in Kharkiv Oblast has worsened. The city is almost destroyed. There are few people left. So see some information coming out from Vovchansk. I've been talking about this city for a few days now, and apparently most people have left the city, and it's being almost destroyed according to this information. This was reported by a policeman who is evacuating residents on a frontline town. There's also a video of this guy. He's got an elderly lady in the background too that's in the back seat, and she's basically saying she's getting out now while they can. They don't want to be occupied by Russia. Apparently they had been before, is what she's saying, or something like that. And he's helping just evacuate people and get people out of there. So let's take a look at this video as well. This is, I believe, like the subtitles here too. So this is going to be kind of in the way, but obviously they're speaking in, I think, I don't know what they speak, Russian or something over here. So let's take a look.
Да, сьогодні 12.05.2024 року. Ситуація в місті погіршилася. Місто майже зруйноване. Людей майже не залишилося. Евакуюємо остатки. Ось дивіться, центр. Якщо є можливість, люди, виходьте на суспільно відомі місця і вас будуть наряди проїжджати, мимо забирати. Набирайте, будь ласка, на 102.
Евакуюємося. Евакуюємося.
Да.
So there you go. Yeah, you can see they're evacuating at least from Vovchansk. I notice it says Minsk here. I don't know if Minsk is another town inside of Ukraine. I'm not aware of that. I know that that's like the capital of Belarus, isn't it? I think Minsk. I might be wrong about that. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but that's what he's stating here. But we know that Vovchansk is being evacuated a lot right now. Many people are starting to leave. So let's take a couple looks at a few more things here. From spatial grounds, Russian forces reached the outskirts of Vovchansk, Kharkiv Oblast. Street fighting is ongoing. Based on geolocated footage, Russians captured Ohertsiv, Hatishe, and likely Pletenivka as well. Those are kind of hard to pronounce, but apparently there's some towns here that have been taken. Here's looks like one here, one there, and one there. So 3 towns. And then here's Vovchansk, okay? So this is probably why it's been coming under such heavy attack, because the Russians apparently are moving forward. So this is already in Ukrainian territory, as far as I'm aware. Vovchansk, I know, is near the border of Ukraine. This might be the border right here, actually. So if this is true and the Russians have pushed in, this could have been some of the towns that they took here, these 3. And Vovchansk is one of their major objectives that they're going to be taking prior to going after Kharkiv. Okay, so far it seems to be slow movement from the Russians, but what we're hearing on the ground is there's big potential that they could be going after this town here very soon, and they may have control of these smaller towns next to Vovchansk. So finally, I want to show you this from Ukraine War Now. The Ukrainian Defense Forces of Kharkiv sent a welcome message to the enemy. Glory to Ukraine, no matter which direction you come from, we will stop you. So here's like a nice little video of them chanting and being prideful for their country and saying that they're gonna stop the Russians whenever they try to invade the Kharkiv region. So let's take a look at this as well.
Україна! Герой! Любі наші матері, дякуємо вам за турботу та безсонні ночі. Знаємо, як вам важко. Ми тут завершимо та повернемось до рідної хати. У вільній, незалежній Україні. Слава Україні! Героям слава! Слава нації! Смерть ворогам! Україна! Понад усе! Україна! Понад усе! Україна! Понад усе! Україна!
All right, so that's kind of cool to see them be prideful and to stand up for their country. I think that's great for them to do that. Just wanted you to see this video and to see how the Ukrainians feel about this. They're standing very strong for their country. Maybe not all of them feel this way. Maybe some of them are very afraid, but these gentlemen here look proud to fight for their country. And yeah, that's why I wanted to show you that. So very interesting what's happening over here. So far, again, seems to be kind of slow movement from the Russians, but very close to taking Vovchansk very soon. It could seem like maybe by this week or the next few days, that town could fall under Russian control. So, yeah, it's going to get very interesting what's going to happen here over the next few weeks, and we'll have to see how close they can get to Kharkiv or if this offensive is going to fail. My guess is it's probably going to end up kind of like how it has in many of the other regions, like on the eastern side of Ukraine, where the Russians will kind of push in and then they slowly work their way forward, a little bit at a time, a few towns at a time. We may see the same thing here, or who knows, they could just completely break through to the region and go after Kharkiv. But regardless, I don't know, they might need a much larger force in order to take Kharkiv, because Kharkiv is a very major city. There's like over 1 million people that live there. So yeah, that's going to be it for this update, though. Just wanted to share this news with you regarding the Kharkiv region inside of Ukraine, the situation between the war between Russia and Ukraine right now. So let me know what you think down below. Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comments section. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this update, please smash that like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.